Project Camelot. Welcome back to Classic Plus. Now the project has a name. Now, we've always known from the beginning that the name of Classic Plus wasn't going to be Classic Plus, right? But having the project name turn out to be Camelot is rather interesting. Now, what exactly does Camelot mean? So, let's look at all the ties into the Camelot mythology. Now, let's look into all the tie-ins from Camelot mythology into the World of Warcraft universe. From Arthur and Arthas, to the sword being pulled out of the stone, being a twist on its head, to Arthas being corrupted, to Uther, to Medivh and Merlin, to so many elements of the story, being a tie-in and almost a mockery of Arthurian mythology. Now, Camelot itself stands for, in this context, an idealistic vision of something. And in this case, Project Camelot being Classic Plus, being an idealized version of the classic vanilla world, expanded, built upon, and just continued, taking us back to a time when all of us had better memories, better joys. Back when you didn't have responsibilities, you didn't have 3 divorces on your record, you haven't spent 15 years in a grueling job that you hate. 15 years. Well, in this context, vanilla was 22 years ago. I know, time flies. But you see what Camelot stands for. Going back to what matters. And in this context, that is vanilla's finished, expanded upon world. Now, you guys have seen the leaks from Geordie and other people as well, where they posted these vision board. This whiteboard full of information showcasing all of these upcoming games. Showcasing that there is no WoD Classic, it ends with MOP. Showing what comes after the War Within and the World Soul Saga. And then showing Project Camelot. Now, whether that image is real or not, it doesn't actually matter. AI has gotten rather amazing, so it's just going to act like it's fake. What isn't fake is that while the names on that board might be irrelevant because they only got leaked shortly after somebody datamined the name Camelot, the idea itself is still real. Microsoft is going to be milking, absolutely and utterly milking all IPs that are successful. Their goal isn't to make new IPs anymore because every new IP, as being realistic, failed. They are going to take the IPs that will sell copies, whether the game is good or not, and expand upon them. They're going to take the IPs that are interesting and exciting, whose name alone is a sale factor. The Arthas RPG. Is that coming? Potentially, potentially not. It doesn't necessarily matter because they are actually going to be making an RPG in the Warcraft universe. Obsidian and many other studios that have the capability to make an RPG or a CRPG, their own IPs just don't sell very well. For example, Outer Worlds 2 had a $100 million budget and it sold, give or take, about 2 million copies. Even if it was to have sold at $90 a copy, which I don't think most of the copies sold at that, at 2 million sales, it is not considered a success at a $100 million budget. Classic WoW has 3 million subs right now. In 3 months' time, Classic makes more money than Obsidian made at the Outer Worlds 2 and a $100 million budget. And I can tell you right now, Classic WoW's budget isn't $100 million. So then, of course, we have the Chronicles RTS game that was on that leaked board as well. Now, the Chronicles RTS game, we know for a fact that there is a new RTS game getting made, greenlit by Microsoft, yada, yada, yada. Is it a Warcraft 3 RTS? Is it a Diablo RTS? Is it a StarCraft RTS? None of that particularly matters. But what is coming is an RTS game. Now, would a Warcraft Chronicles RTS be amazing? Abso-fucking-lutely. I would be so fucking excited and happy to dive into an RTS game world made by Blizzard once again. And I'm not talking about Reforged, I'm talking about a proper Warcraft 4 style futuristic expansion upon StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3. That would be absolutely fucking phenomenal. But now that we've covered that, let's take a few steps back and talk about Project Camelot. And Project Camelot Classic Plus is coming. There is going to be demos on the game floor at BlizzCon. Will those demos be about Classic Plus? Project Camelot in this instance? Probably not. There's a good chance, but maybe not. The StarCraft FPS game is definitely going to be on the floor. We know that's the flagship title of BlizzCon 2026. But there is a whole Classic panel. We're not just the segue in addition to retail. Of course, opening ceremonies and everything big gets announced. But then after the opening ceremony, we'll have a 45-minute deep dive on Classic WoW. They're not going to do a 45-minute deep dive on Wrath of the Lich King Classic. And don't you guys have phone? We're announcing a brand new mobile game. They're going to announce more mobile games because mobile games make disgusting amounts of money. Let's not even sugarcoat it. Mobile games make more money than most other fucking games ever will. Monopoly on fucking mobile is absolutely disgusting. I don't know how they've made $6.5–7 billion, but they have. Absolutely insane. But Microsoft is going to make more mobile games in the StarCraft, Diablo, and Warcraft universe. They're going to make movies and tie-ins and animated shows. They're trying to make Xbox successful. And whether that ends up killing the Blizzard IPs, who fucking knows. But Project Camelot is Classic Plus. It is coming, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. Microsoft gives a shit ton of money, and they only pull the money back when you stop making money. Blizzard hasn't failed yet. Blizzard is a money maker. They print fucking money. Diablo 4, based on what ex-people who worked at Blizzard have said on LinkedIn, has sold over 40 million copies. Now, is that with Game Pass and free copies given away? You know, all that bullshit? Probably. But even if it is 40 million people having played, let's just say 25 million copies sold and 15 million was from Game Pass and other places, that is 25 million people that bought Diablo 4. The StarCraft game is probably going to sell another 10–15 million copies, and Classic Plus is definitely going to bring in 3–5 million new subscribers. Project Camelot is going to be an absolutely hype project. It is going to be absolutely insane. And no, the game itself isn't going to be called World of Warcraft Camelot. Camelot just stands for an idealized future, an idealized vision of something. And that's what Camelot is. That's what Classic Plus is. The finished version, the dream that we all have of classic World of Warcraft. Being able to go to Grimbatol, to Hyjal, to the Caverns of Time. Being able to finish the storylines. What's north of Stratholme? Will we get Stratholme Harbor? Will we get, for this instance, the Scarlet Enclave again? Or will they actually make a fully fleshed out zone and not just a raid? Will we be getting Quel'Thalas and Zulaman in the original vision and idea? Will we be getting Zuldazar pre-shattering? Will we be getting all the mysteries of the world? The Barodens and Illidan? What about the underwater dungeon? Karazhan Crypts, Karazhan Upper and Karazhan Lower. There are so many unfinished instances of content in the classic world that they could spend 10 years making expansions and still not run out of content. Because guess what? That's what retail WoW has been doing for the past 20 years. So, here we stand at the precipice of the announcement, the precipice of returning to Vanilla WoW. 2026 Project Camelot. It's going to be announced, and we're going to get the official name, the official trailer, whether that's Chromie hitting a button and saying, oops, what if we change the timeline instead of what if we go back? So many things could potentially happen, and all of them point towards an amazing future for all MMORPG fans. Between Guild Wars 3, Classic Plus, and the Riot MMO, the future as an MMO player has never been brighter. It's not as close as we'd all like, because despite it being announced in 2026, will Project Camelot drop in 2026? I'm hopeful for a 1 month after BlizzCon stealth drop, go right into the game, but it might be Q1, Q2, 2027, or if we're unlucky, even Q3, 2027. But 2027 is the absolute latest it'll come out. So I cannot wait to dive into the amazing world of Azeroth finished, Vanilla WoW finished, with all of you, with new races, new class subtypes, or in this case specs, potentially new classes, new cosmetics, new ways to play the game, new raids, new endgame content, dungeons, heroics, Mythic Plus. Well, I'm not necessarily a big fan of that, but there's so many things that are going to be coming that make the vanilla world truly and absolutely modern, while sticking true to its original heart, original intent, sticking true to the classic spirit of letting us experience vanilla WoW, but finished in the upcoming year. Thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, like, subscribe. If you hated it, understandable. Dislike and unsubscribe, and then resubscribe so you become a dedicated hater and hate on my next video. I can't wait to deep dive more about Project Camelot and all the upcoming potential things and leaks that are in our future. From the epic and heroic edition of the game, which is a $90 bundle. Might that be a physical box you can buy? A physical box for Classic WoW in 2027? Who knows? But I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, Eben out.